Documented reports of Eucharistic miracles are consistently found with the beginning of the second millennium. But the most famous Eucharistic miracle in church history remains the great miracle of Lanciano, Italy, which occurred in around 700 AD when a priest monk of the order of Saint Basil was celebrating Mass. His weak faith made the priest doubt the transubstantiation, but when he uttered the words of the consecration, the host suddenly changed into a circle of flesh and the wine into visible blood. The miraculous host and 5 pellets of blood have survived for over 1200 years. Numerous scientific tests have challenged this event, and on March 4, 1971, Professor Oddaido Linoli and his team of scientists announced their conclusions in a detailed medical and scientific report proving that after 1200 years, the miracle of Lanciano is still a miracle. Theresa Neumann, who lived in Germany, is said to be the most visited stigmatist in the history of the Church. It is reported that millions saw her either in her home or in public. According to accounts, Theresa Neumann felt no urge to eat food or drink water. She lived only on the Holy Eucharist for 40 years from 1922 to 1962. She also ingested water only when necessary to swallow the host or when brushing her teeth. Reports say that despite the fact that Teresa ate no food except Holy Communion from the spring of 1922, she steadily gained weight. 3 reports have come in regarding Eucharistic miracles experienced by Rani John from Kerala in India. The first was during a Mass on October 26, 1997 in Kanyikot Parish in the Diocese of Palakkad. Rani received Holy Communion and the host changed into flesh. The celebrant was the Bishop of Palakkad, Mar Jacob Manathodath. The second Eucharistic miracle she experienced was on November 2, 1997 at the same place, and Father Abraham Kadiakuri was the celebrant. The third one took place on February 12, 1998 at Pota Ashram during a Mass whose main celebrant was Bishop Jacob Thumguri. On October 31, 1995, Julia Kim attended a private Mass with the Holy Father in his chapel in Rome. After receiving Holy Communion, there was a strong fragrance of roses and a strong scent of blood. The sacred host then became larger in Julia's mouth. Julia also witnessed a bright light descend on the Holy Father and saw baby angels dancing and guarding him. Our Lady then spoke to her, asking her to let all know the sacred, real presence of the Lord in the holy sacrifice of the Mass. On December 8, 1991, a consecrated communion host began to bleed at a Mass in Betania, Venezuela. The celebrant during the miracle was Father Oti Aristizabal. Many people took pictures of the bleeding host. Bishop Pio Bello Ricardo, who also attested to the miracle, says that for 3 days the blood on the host was fluid and then it began to dry up. Also, the blood did not seep through the wafer-thin host. The host was handed over to a medical institute for investigation, and it was proved that what was on the host was human blood. Mother Teresa, venerated as the Angel of Mercy, passed away on September 5, 1998. Her death has robbed the world of its greatest beacon of hope. Mother began her humanitarian service in the narrow lanes of Calcutta in 1950, an ordinary woman doing extraordinary service for the poorest of the poor, for which she received the Nobel Peace Prize. The Indian government, in a departure from protocol, gave her a state funeral.
So we say, give life to the destitute, and so many other works you do. I congratulate you, I thank you in a particular way for helping the children, aged.
In 1858, Our Lady appeared to a peasant girl, Bernadette, at Lourdes in France, announcing herself as the Immaculate Conception and confirming the dogma proclaimed by Pope Pius IX. Bernadette had never heard the term until told by the Blessed Mother. Mary's next major apparition was at Fatima, Portugal in 1917 to 3 children. She asked for all the bishops of the world to unite and consecrate Russia to her Immaculate Heart. This happened prior to the Russian Revolution in 1917. In Medjugorje in former Yugoslavia, 6 children, now young adults, have been seeing Mary daily and receiving messages from her since 1981. This remote village has been visited by an estimated 15 million pilgrims and 15,000 clergy. Whereas Fatima was the most significant apparition for the early part of the 20th century, Medjugorje is meeting the spiritual needs of the present generation. An exposition of the Shroud of Turin was held in 1998 from mid-April to mid-June. Turin was well prepared to receive the innumerable pilgrims who came to see the shroud. The shroud is a somewhat thick piece of cloth, 436 centimeters long and 110 centimeters wide. It has imprinted on it the form of a man, believed to be Christ, with sharp features, a wide forehead and long hands on the left half, and the imprint of the back of his figure on the right half. It has withstood the ravage of time and changing climatic conditions, as well as 3 fires. Various scientific tests have been conducted on the shroud, revealing that it is indeed the bloodstains of a man who suffered intensely before his death, and also showing nail marks on his hands and feet. Visionaries foretell that mankind will move from a secular realm into a world which basks in the reality of God and belief in the presence of the supernatural. Though certain experts and scholars are expressing doubts, it seems that the general public still wants to believe in God. Polls repeatedly show that over 90% of Americans say that they believe in God. A poll conducted by Time magazine in 1995 revealed that over 69% of those polled believe in miracles. An Australian Christian missionary, Dr. Graham Stewart Staines, and his 2 sons, Timothy and Philip, were killed when a mob of about 100 people set on fire the jeep in which they were asleep shortly after midnight on 23 January 1999 at Manoharpur, a tribal Christian-dominated village in Orissa. That's all for this news bulletin. May God bless you.